Hey YouTube, welcome back to another video. This one's only going to be short, okay? This one's going to be touching on the argument styles that we see around everyday life, YouTube, and the DC. Sorry, there's someone parked behind me. I'm just delivering something. I'm just seeing what they're doing. Anyway, right, so we're going to look at, I don't know if anybody else has noticed it, but when we're watching people debate or argue, or if they're having a disagreement about something, the things we see them pull into justify their argument to, in their minds, make it stronger. I don't know how many are invalid, okay? I've lost count. So this is touching on our argument styles, okay? Because, look, the arguments, I mean, you can be discussing, or you can watch them debate a certain issue, all right? And the person from out of nowhere will grab something and bring that in as though it justifies what they're trying to defend. And it is absolutely, in a lot of the cases, 100% nothing to do with the issue at hand, okay? So we watch people scramble to solidify their arguments, their debate points, and half of them are crazy. So, but you know what? They've got names, okay? They've got names. So I'm going to go through, you can look up the rest, but we're going to look at common logical fallacies and how to spot them, okay? So I'm going to give a brief introduction of what a logical fallacy is, all right, what they are, and then I'm going to pick 5 of them, the ones that I think that we see the most around YouTube, and outline what they are, okay? So this is just reading off this article. I'll link it in the description if anyone's interested. So it starts off, logical fallacies. Those logical gaps that invalidate arguments aren't always easy to spot. While some come in the form of loud, glaring inconsistencies, others can easily fly under the radar, sneaking into everyday meetings and conversations undetected. Having an understanding of these basic logical fallacies can help you more confidently parse the arguments and claims you participate in and witness on a daily basis, separating fact from fiction, okay? So this list is by no means an exhaustive guide to every formal and informal fallacy, but it should help you to build better arguments and identify logical missteps, okay? So we'll start off with the straw man fallacy. This fallacy occurs when your opponent oversimplifies or misrepresents your argument, i.e. setting up a straw man to make it easier to attack you or refute what you're saying. Instead of fully addressing your actual argument, the speaker relies on this fallacy and presents a superficially similar but ultimately not equal version of your real stance, helping them create the illusion of easily defeating you, okay? Example, John, I think we should hire someone to redesign our website. Lola, you're saying we should throw our money away on external resources instead of building up our in-house design team. That's going to hurt our company in the long run. Well, that is not what John said, but Lola has shifted it round to meaning something different. She's interpreted it either ignorantly, naively, or on purpose to mean something different. Okay, so let's look for another one. Scrolling down. Okay, we'll go with the hasty generalization fallacy. This fallacy occurs when someone draws expansive conclusions based on inadequate or insufficient evidence. In other words, they jump to conclusions about the validity of a proposition with some, but not enough, evidence to back it up, and overlook potential counter arguments. Example: 2 members of my team have become more engaged employees after taking public speaking classes. That proves that we should have mandatory public speaking classes for the whole company to improve employee engagement. Okay, that doesn't mean that at all. Okay, so because 2 members of the team have become engaged, more engaged, that doesn't mean that they're going to have the same effect should the whole team take this class. Where's the other one? There's another one. The anecdotal evidence fallacy. In place of logical evidence, this fallacy substitutes examples from someone's personal experience. Arguments that rely heavily on anecdotal evidence tend to overlook the fact that one, possibly isolated example can't stand alone as definitive proof of a greater premise. Example: one of our clients doubled their conversions after changing all their landing page text to bright red. Therefore, changing all text to red is a proven way to double conversions. I mean, tell me you've not heard similar on YouTube. The Texas sharpshooter fallacy. This fallacy gets its colourful name from an anecdote about a Texan who fires his gun at a barn wall and then proceeds to paint a target around the closest cluster of bullet holes. He then points at the bullet-riddled target as evidence of his expert marksmanship. Speakers who rely on the Texas sharpshooter fallacy tend to cherry-pick data clusters based on a predetermined conclusion. So they already know the conclusion they want, and they're only going to pick evidence that further solidifies that conclusion. Instead of letting a full spectrum of evidence lead them to a logical conclusion, they find patterns and correlations in support of their goals and ignore evidence that contradicts them or suggests the clusters weren't actually statistically significant. Example: Lisa sold her first startup to an influential tech company, so she must be a successful entrepreneur. She ignores the fact that 4 of her startups have failed since then. Okay, so I'll do 2 more. The burden of proof fallacy. If a person claims that X is true, it is their responsibility to provide evidence in support of that assertion. It is invalid to claim that X is true until someone else can prove that X is not true. Similarly, it is also invalid to claim that X is true because it's impossible to prove that X is false. In other words, just because there is no evidence presented against something, that doesn't automatically make that thing true. Example: Barbara believes the marketing agency's office is haunted, since no one has proven that it isn't haunted. So she goes with the proof that it must be. They go with the proof that it must be. The last one, because it's getting dark, I can see already. What flipping time is it? 4:30, and it's going dark already. Welcome winter. Right, last one. The tu quoque fallacy. The tu quoque fallacy, Latin for you also, is an invalid attempt to discredit an opponent by answering criticism with criticism. How often do we see that on YouTube? My God. But they never actually present a counter argument to the original disputed claim. In the example below, Lola makes a claim. Instead of presenting evidence against Lola's claim, John levels a claim against Lola. This attack doesn't actually help John succeed in proving Lola wrong, since he doesn't address her original claim in any capacity. Come on, how many times do we see that? Example: Lola: I don't think John would be a good fit to manage this project because he doesn't have a lot of experience with project management. John: but you don't have experience in project management either. So rather than explain why he would be good for the role as project management, he jumps on to critiquing Lola. Okay, so hello, what's going on? He hasn't addressed her original claim. He's responded. He's taken her claim, switched it around and directed it at her. Now, how many times do we see those kinds of debate styles and arguments on YouTube? So often. Anyway, there's a good 15 on this link. Okay, there are more. These are just the main ones that we see most common. I think we could all do with a read of this. Not even kidding, okay? Because some of the arguments that I witness, they're not even juvenile, okay? They're infantile. There's even... My kids argue better than we do, okay? We need to raise our game. We need to raise our game. Anyway, I found it interesting. It's funny in a light-hearted way to spot these logical fallacies going on around us in the dynamics that we witness on YouTube. Well, it was for me, okay? Give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down, I don't mind. Consider subscribing if you haven't, and I hope to see you in the next video. Have a fabulous rest of the week. Take care and see you all soon, hopefully. Bye for now.